Hi, movie summary here. Today I'm going to explain a horror movie called Time Cut. The film begins by showing the year 2003. At a party, we are introduced to a girl named Summer. She is enjoying the party when she meets her college mate, Quinn. Quinn says, "I didn't think you'd come to this party. Just yesterday, your two friends were murdered." Summer replies, "They were very close to my heart. I haven't been able to forget them, and I never will. But because of their murder, I can't stop living my life." Saying this, Summer continues to enjoy the party. At that moment, we see the police arriving at the party. The police suspect that the killer of the two friends might be at the party. The police ask everyone to leave the party. Unaware of this, Summer is in the restroom at the time. Suddenly, we see a masked killer standing behind her. Summer gets scared upon seeing him. In order to save herself, she runs and hides in a cabin, but the killer finds her there too. The killer slashes Summer's throat with his axe, killing her. After this, the scene cuts to show the time 21 years later in 2024. Now we are introduced to Lucy, who is Summer's sister. Lucy is very smart. She goes to college and informs her science teacher of the good news that NASA has selected her for an internship. The teacher is also very happy to hear this, as it was a moment of pride for both of them. However, Lucy is a little worried because she hasn't told her parents yet. Her father wanted her to work at the sonar company, just like him, but Lucy is interested in NASA and now she has received an invitation from them. It can be seen that today everyone at Lucy's college is sad because today is the anniversary of the day when 4 students from the college, including Lucy's sister Summer and her 3 other friends, were murdered. Lucy doesn't know much about her sister because she was born after Summer's death. Today, Lucy is also curious to learn more about Summer. She went home and opened Summer's room after many years, and it was still just the way it had been 21 years ago. She saw many of Summer's belongings there, and then she noticed a loose piece of wood on the floor. When she lifted it, she found that her sister had hidden several letters beneath the floor. One of the letters was strange and threatening, with the letter E written on it. It could mean that the letter was written by Ethan, who had been Summer's boyfriend at that time. As she was looking at all this, her mother arrived and Lucy quickly hid everything. They then sat down for breakfast, where Lucy told her father that she was going to intern at NASA. As she had expected, she got scolded a lot because her father wanted her to go into sonar instead. After all this, they decided to visit Summer's grave, as it was the day she had died. Her mother and father brought things to place at Summer's grave, but Lucy didn't bring anything. Her mother asked, "Didn't you bring anything for your sister?" Lucy got nervous and lied. "Yes, I brought something, but it's in the car." Saying this, she ran to the car. In reality, she had never been very close to her sister, nor did she feel any attachment to her. What could she bring for her sister? Now, standing near the car and thinking, strange noises suddenly started coming from a nearby shack. These noises made her suspicious. She had gone to get something for her sister, but forgetting all that, she headed toward the shack. There, she saw a strange machine. The machine had the same date written on it as the day Summer was killed. The machine emitted 2 laser lights, which, when they crossed, created a strange glow. After that, everything changed. Something new happened. Lucy couldn't understand what had occurred there. As soon as she stepped out of the hut, she noticed that her sister's grave was no longer there, nor were her parents, who had brought her here. She checked her phone, but there was no network. Lucy, in a state of confusion, moved forward a little. She saw a signboard that read 2003. Now, it dawned on her that she had time traveled to the year 2003. She realized that the machine she had seen earlier was a time machine. Understanding this, she immediately went to her high school to meet her science teacher. Upon arriving at the college, she encountered her sister. This was the first time she had seen her sister, and she was so confused that she couldn't say anything, as she herself couldn't understand what was going on. Then she ran to her teacher and asked, "Is time travel possible?" At that moment, the teacher didn't answer. Instead, a boy sitting in the lab replied, "Yes, time travel is possible." The boy's name was Quinn, who we saw at the beginning of the movie with Summer. Hearing him and seeing him, Lucy felt that she could go back to her timeline with his help. With this thought, she left the college. She saw that all the students were making a lot of noise. She asked one of the students, "What's going on here?" The student told her that every year the seniors pick a boy, bully him, and then throw him into the water. And today, they were going to throw Quinn in. Quinn was the very person Lucy needed help from, so she went there to save him. When she arrived, she realized that the people bullying Quinn were Summer's friends. That is, her sister's friends. No one had the courage to stand up to them. But then Lucy stepped forward and saved Quinn from the seniors. In anger, the seniors left him behind. Quinn thanked Lucy and asked, "Who are you after all?" Lucy then told him the truth. "Actually, I am traveling through time. I need to get back to my timeline, so I need your help." Quinn couldn't believe it at all. He said, "This can't be possible." Then Lucy showed him her phone, which was far beyond today's technology. It was a touch mobile that could also take pictures of people. Seeing this, Quinn had no choice but to believe. Now Quinn was ready to help Lucy. He takes her to his house, where he had set up a small science lab. Meanwhile, we see that Summer had also come there to borrow notes from Quinn. Quinn tells her, "I'll give you the notes when you go home." Before leaving, Summer looks at Lucy and asks Quinn, "Who is she?" Lucy then tells a lie, saying, "Actually, I'm new to this college." At this moment, she didn't want to reveal her true identity to anyone. Well, now Quinn and Lucy set off on their mission. They go to the same shack where Lucy had been traveling through time. They pick up the time machine lying there and take it back to Quinn's lab. However, the machine no longer had enough energy for her to return to her timeline. Now, as we know, Lucy herself is a very smart engineer, and she is heading to NASA, so she also had a lot of knowledge about machines. Here she tells Quinn that the machine would run on a sonar cylinder, which they didn't have. Then Lucy tells him, "Don't worry, my dad, who is also Summer's dad, works at a sonar company. I can steal it from him and get the sonar cylinder from his company." But Quinn takes her to Summer's house. Summer is surprised to see them and asks Quinn, "Where are my notes?" Then Quinn explains that he couldn't make her notes because he was busy, so he brought Lucy to her place. They would quickly get her notes done. Hearing this, Summer invites Lucy inside. She had to come in. Here, Lucy sees her mom and dad, who look much younger than before. Summer thinks Lucy's fashion is terrible because she is dressed in the fashion of that time. So Summer gives her some clothes and gives her a makeover according to the current style. As these little things unfold, Lucy starts to grow closer to Summer. She begins to bond with her sister. They even talk about Quinn. Lucy thinks Quinn is in love with Summer, but Summer tells her, "No, that's not true. I see him like a brother. He's my only good friend who helps me with my homework." Here, Summer also tells Lucy that she is actually in love with a girl, and at that time, it wasn't considered acceptable for girls to love each other. Now, in this room, Lucy sees photos of Summer's friends. Looking at them and mentioning their names, she asks Summer, "Are these two your really good friends?" Summer says yes. Lucy is surprised that she knows her friends' names. Before Summer could respond, Lucy remembers that today is the exact date when their friends were killed. She was also at the mall. Thinking this, she didn't say anything and sat in the car, leaving her sister behind, and headed toward the mall to save their lives. It was there that we see the killer standing in the showcase, the same killer who had already killed Summer at the beginning of the film. By the time they reached the mall, it was closing time. At that moment, the killer steps out of the showcase and stabs one of Summer's friends with a knife, killing him. Before he could stab another friend of Summer's, Lucy arrives just in time and distracts the killer, successfully saving the girl. After witnessing these events, they all get scared. They try to escape from there. However, near the lift, the killer catches Summer's friend again, knocks him down, and kicks him to death. In an attempt to save the girl, the mall security guard tries to stop the killer, but the killer kills the security guard too. Seeing this, Lucy becomes even more distressed, as in the previous timeline, only 2 murders had taken place in the mall, and now, because of trying to stop the killer, this poor security guard lost his life. Now there was no time to think. They all tried to escape. Lucy was deeply saddened at this point. Then Quinn says to her, "Don't be sad, and if you listen to me, don't interfere with the timeline. Let those who are meant to die, die. Look, if you mess with the timeline, it might even get destroyed. Even if you manage to save your sister's life, your mom and dad might never plan anything for you because they planned for you only when your sister died." At that moment, she understood everything. Now she goes home to steal her father's card so she can go to Sonar's place and get the sonar cylinder. But as she was doing this, her sister Summer saw her. As soon as Summer saw her, she asked, "Who are you and what are you doing here? And tell me, how did you know that a murder was going to happen at the mall today? And how do you know the names of my friends?" At that moment, Lucy doesn't lie to her. Instead, she tells her the truth that she is actually Summer's sister and has come here through time travel. Summer is confused and doesn't understand. She thinks Lucy is joking. But then Lucy shows her the letter she found in Summer's room from the future. Seeing the letter, Summer is stunned. Lucy believes what she hears and immediately goes to to her college, where she finds a copy of the letter in her locker. This letter was actually written by her friend Amy, not Ethan. Seeing this, Summer starts to believe Lucy's words. We then see Lucy and Quinn working on the time machine. Lucy is determined to go back, but Quinn wants her to stay because he has always been alone. When Lucy arrived, it felt like she was someone who thought the same way as him. During this conversation, Summer also arrives because she knows that only Lucy can save the others. She begs Lucy to save everyone and then asks, "What do I look like in the future?" Lucy doesn't want to hurt her feelings, so she says, "You look beautiful in the future." Summer then asks, "Who will be the next victim?" Lucy tells her it will be your friend Amy, and it will happen where she works. After this, the three of them set out to prevent the murder. It is shown that as soon as the killer is about to kill Amy, they all arrive and distract him. This way, they manage to save Amy's life. Unfortunately, they are unable to catch the killer. They then drop Amy off at her house. After that, Quinn tells Lucy, "Look, we stopped this murder and tampered with the timeline, but it didn't get messed up. I thought that saving someone's life would mess up the timeline, but it didn't. Now we can stop all the murders." Quinn asks Lucy, "Who will be the next victim?" Lucy then truthfully tells him that the next victim will be her sister, Summer. Lucy was living with Summer now, and she couldn't sleep all night because she was troubled. She didn't know how to tell her sister that she would be murdered the next day. The next morning before Summer wakes up, Lucy gets up early. She steals her father's ID card and heads to Quinn's lab. There, she finds a love letter he wrote for Summer. However, Summer had already told him that she wasn't interested in boys, so this letter seems very strange to Lucy. She tells Quinn, "It's better not to get involved in all this trouble." She now goes to Summer and, gathering her courage, tells her the truth. "Summer, you are going to die today. I want to save you, but there's a big problem. If I save you, my existence will end, because it was only after your death that Mom and Dad decided to have me." Hearing this, Summer is also put in a strange dilemma. She asks Lucy, "What should we do now?" Lucy replies, "I have a plan." Saying this, she takes her to her father's sonar office, where they were supposed to steal the sonar slander. As soon as they arrive, they see that someone has already killed the guard, and a sonar slander is missing. This means that someone has already begun preparing to use the time machine. They still have no idea who it could be. Well, Lucy also operates a sonar slander so she can travel back in time. Lucy makes a plan to ensure both sisters' existence remains intact. After everything is settled, Lucy goes to the shack where the time machine is kept. Meanwhile, we see that Summer reaches the party where the killer was supposed to murder her. Perhaps she did this thinking that at least her sister would be safe. We see that the killer is now moving towards Summer to attack her. Just as the killer is about to strike, Quinn and Lucy arrive in their car and hit the killer. This saves Summer's life. As soon as the killer removes his mask, everyone is shocked to see that it's none other than Quinn from the future. Now, Quinn from 2003 also arrives, and the killer Quinn asks, "Why are you doing this?" The killer Quinn replies, "In this timeline, you haven't gone through the bad things I went through. That day, Summer's friends pushed me into the water. Because of that, I had to endure a lot of humiliation. My self-confidence was shattered and my life was ruined. That's why I decided to kill Summer's friends. But I loved Summer. How could I kill her? When I went to give her my love letter, she tore it up and threw it in my face. And that's when I decided to kill all three of them, but at that time, I didn't have the courage. Then, the fire of revenge inside me began to burn so intensely that I built a time machine. I came here to take revenge." It was clear that Quinn was not a killer at this time, because due to Lucy, Summer's friends could not do anything bad to him, and Lucy had stopped Quinn from giving Summer the love letter before he could do so. During this time, when everyone was arguing, they were all in the same hut where the time machine was installed. Lucy cleverly activates the time machine. Then, as the two laser lights collide, a bright light emerges. Both the killer and Lucy, watching this, return to their timelines. Here, the killer wanted to kill Lucy, but before he could do so, Lucy stabbed him with a knife. After killing him, Lucy realizes that she still has a sonar slander in her pocket, which she had stolen from there. Using this, she could once again travel back to the past. Now she decides that she will go to the past because she was very lonely in this life. She had neither friends nor her sister, but in the past, she had her sister and a friend, Quinn. Thinking this, she turns on the time machine again and goes back to the past. As soon as she reaches the past, Summer and Quinn are very surprised to see her, but they are also happy. Summer asks her, "Why did you come back?" Lucy replies, "Because in the future, I have neither a sister nor any friends. I want to be happy with you." Hearing this, Summer hugs her tightly and accepts her. Later, it is shown that they all start living together like a family. Lucy then reapplies for an internship at NASA, and this time she gets selected again. Everyone is very happy about it, and thus the movie ends. See you next time with another exciting story. Take care.